In this video, we're going to look at the different ways to ID conic sections. The first way is completing the square, which hopefully you will remember from Algebra 1. I have the equation 4x squared plus y squared minus 24x plus 6y plus 9 equals 0. The first thing I'm going to do is group like variables. So that means I'm going to grab my x squared and my x and group them together. So I have 4x squared minus 24x. I'm then going to take my y squared and my 6y and group those together. Now you'll notice I have this 9 up here that doesn't group with either because it does not contain a variable. So I'm going to subtract 9 to move it to the other side so that I am free to complete the square. Now before I complete the square, I need to see if there's a common factor. For 4x squared minus 24x, the common coefficient is 4. So I pull out the 4 and I'm left with x squared minus 6x. To complete the square, I'm going to take half of this middle coefficient. So half of negative 6 is negative 3, and when I square it, I get 9. I'm going to do the same with my y. So half of positive 6 is positive 3, and when I square it, I get 9. Now I've just added two new numbers to the left side of my equation, and I need to balance and move those items to the right side. But I have to be careful because this is not just a 9. The 4 has to be distributed because it was pulled out previously. And 4 times 9 is 36. So I'm going to add a positive 36 to the right side because I already have it on the left side. Now here there was no common coefficient, so all I did was add 9. So I have negative 9 plus 36 plus 9, and a negative 9 and positive 9 cancel, leaving me with 36. So my equation now is 4 times x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals 36. And if you look at the different formats for the different conic sections, you will notice that they either equal x, y, or they equal the number 1. Well, in this case, x and y are already moved to the one side together, and the easiest way to do this is to make the equation equal to 1. That's the simplest thing to do, and in order to do that, I'm going to divide by 36. So I have to divide everything by 36. Oh, and I skipped a step, sorry there. So I had to divide everything by 36. Before I did that, I factored my trinomials here. So they're very easy to factor because I already did that when I completed the square. When I did half of negative 6, it was negative 3. And that is my factored term, x minus 3 squared. Half of 6 is positive 3, y plus 3 squared. Then I divided everything by 36, leaving me with 4x squared, 4 times x minus 3 squared, over 36 plus y plus 3 squared over 36 and 36 over 36. 4 over 36 reduces to 1 over 9. So that leaves me with a 9 in my denominator. There is no lead coefficient that I can reduce my denominator of 36 in the next. So that's going to stay as 36. And 36 divided by 36 is 1. So this is my final form, and when I look at the different types of conic equations, it best matches ellipse because I have my x plus my y, where I have parabola has x minus y. So this particular one is an ellipse. So that's one way to complete the square. Let's look at another way. Another way is to look at the equation in standard form, and we're going to use the discriminant. Now hopefully you remember from Algebra 1 using the quadratic formula. The piece under the radical b squared minus 4ac is known as the discriminant. So I'm going to take my equation. I'm given the equation x squared minus 4y squared minus 2x minus 8y equals 7. In order for it to be in standard form, it has to equal 0. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. So now my equation becomes x squared minus 4y squared minus 2x minus 8y minus 7 equals 0. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find out what each of the coefficients are in order for me to use the discriminant formula. So a goes with x squared. The coefficient with x squared is 1, so a is 1. I don't have an xy, which means my b is 0. My y squared goes with my c, so negative 4 is c. My d goes with the plane x, and the number with the plane x, or the coefficient with the plane x, is negative 2, so d equals negative 2. E is with the y variable, so e is negative 8, and f is negative 7, the number without a variable. Then I'm going to look, and if I notice b equals 0, this stands out to me. Well, I have a b equals 0. Okay, well, let's read the rest of it. A equals c. My a does not equal my c, so therefore it couldn't be a circle. So I'm going to continue finding the value of the discriminant. So b squared would be 0 squared minus 4 times 1 for the a minus 4, which is my c. 0 squared is 0. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, times negative 4 is positive 16. 0 plus 16 is 16. Therefore, my value is it equal to 0? No, so it's not a parabola. Is it less than 0? No, so it's not an ellipse. It's greater than 0, which means it's a hyperbola. Hopefully, one of these methods will make it easy for you to determine what type of conic section you're looking at.